Okay, so now that we've talked about general categories and classifications of different types of joints, I'd like to talk about some specific joints and the very specific structures that are found at those joints. These are some of the, very critical joints in your body. And so I wanted to start with the intervertebral joint anatomy, so that's the joining between two vertebrae. And so let me go here to this image. So just to help orient you to what you are looking at here, okay, here is one vertebra, here's an intervertebral disc, here's another vertebra, another disc, on down the spinal column. Over here in this space would be the ventral body cavity. Okay, and then back here, this is going to be the back part of your body wall and ultimately the surface of your back. Okay, so that part back in there. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about more is the intervertebral disc that you find. It's going to be between the two bodies. And this intervertebral disc is going to have two portions to it. It's going to have a nucleus pulposus, which is kind of a gelatinous, squishy center in the middle. And then surrounding that on the outside in all directions is going to be the annulus fibrosus. And the annulus fibrosus is actually the fibrocartilage part. So what this means is that it has a little bit of give, but also the fibrocartilage makes it quite strong, so it will resist compression as your body holds up its entire weight, as that vertebral column holds up the body's entire weight over the lifetime of an individual. And so as a reminder, this is a symphysis joint because we're talking about fibrocartilage. Okay. Now as a reminder, right here would be those vertebral foramen because the spinal cord in yellow is running through it. And then here would be those intervertebral foramina, and the spinal nerves escape out of there and then go out into the body periphery. Okay. Now you may notice that there are a whole bunch of ligaments that are going to help stabilize. Ligaments are dense connective tissue that connect bone to bone. And so they're going to help stabilize these connections between the bones. If they weren't there, stuff starts falling apart as you move more and more. So the first one is this anterior longitudinal ligament. It is, remember, this is the anterior side of the body going this way. So it is on the anterior surface of the body and it runs up and down the entire cord. We also have another ligament on the posterior surface of the body, and that's called the posterior longitudinal ligament. Okay. We then have this ligament here called the ligamentum flavum, and that's going to connect the lamina of one vertebra with the lamina of the other vertebra right below it. Okay. Then we have the interspinous ligament, and so the side nose parts of the vertebra. So as a reminder, okay, this here, okay, right in here, is the spinous process, okay, and so you are going to have a ligament that is going to run from one spinous process to the other along the sides of that spinous process. Okay. Then finally we have what's called the supraspinous ligament, and that's going to also run between the spinous processes, but it's right along the tip of it. Okay. Now let me go ahead and give you a name distinction. Okay. Supraspinous ligament, okay, that's going to run on the tips of the spinous process from C7, the 7th cervical vertebra, down to the sacrum. Okay. You have a different ligament in the same location. It's called the ligamentum flavum, and that's running from C7 up to the top of the vertebral column. Okay, and so same location right on the tips of that spinous process, but one's going from C7 down, the other's going from C7 up. Okay. And so that is the intervertebral disc anatomy, and there are labeling and some other description activities to help you make sure you understand the intervertebral joints.